Looks like I'm living rent-free in your heads again, huh? I mean, if you're gonna spend your days obsessing over me, you might as well start calling me something respectable. Maybe Daddy Shizzy, or better yet, Papa Nut. Who's the grown-up here? Alright, it's me. Let's go. Call me Daddy. Yeah, that's who I am. Running your mind's like a master plan. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy. Take your pick. I'm overeating your thoughts while you still act sick. Call me Daddy. It's what you mean. While you chase the crooks and I take the lead. Living rent-free. That's my name. Go ahead, say it. Put some respect on the name. Man, I'm too old. Well, here's a surprise. I'm the one with the brains while you're stuck with the lies. You act like you're experts, but here's the reality. I'm the one controlling your mental reality. So while you're out there trying to throw shade, I'm sipping coffee and you're feeling betrayed. You're mad, I got the spotlight, now it's my time. So why not call me Daddy or Papa with a rhyme? I'm the landlord and you're just the tenants, stuck in your headspace with no end to sight, no repentance. Call me Daddy, you know it's true. You'd be lost without me, stuck in the glue. Call me Daddy, I'm holding your mind while you're scrambling, trying to find what's behind. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, don't you see? You're living in my world now, I'm the VIP. Call me Daddy, just let it be. While you're trying to figure out your own identity. Oh, I see you're confused, trying to get it right. Spinning your wheels while I'm out of sight. You think you got it figured, but you got it all wrong. I've been running your minds all along. But sure, keep pretending you don't care. Keep saying you're done, but I'm still in the air. You got no choice but to bow to my name. Daddy Shizzy is here to own the game. You say you don't watch, but you're obsessed. Every word I say puts you to the test. Call me Daddy, Papa Nut, you know you should. Because I've been living rent-free, and you know it feels good. Shizzy Daddy, all in your headspace, and there's no escape. Good luck with that.
Good evening, everybody. Man, what an interesting day I've had today. I've just been busy. Oh, just you have no clue. And then, of course, you know, someone pointed out that there was a whole bunch of stuff going on, and looks like there was some pleading, there was a hearing. Well. What did I say? What did I say? It was going to be a status conference. I mean, and you know, just so you guys know, I have actually gone over, become a full-on member over at the Hales. Full disclosure, and I've viewed the video, and I would suggest go over to Jeremy's, check out the video. It is well worth the 15-minute watch, and we're going to debunk some of the shit that we've heard because apparently they couldn't even do that. They couldn't even go in there. They just put it down as a bunch of lies, spin, PR work. That's all it was. That's all that they were doing, is just throwing out some PR because they know the bad stuff's about to happen to them. It's coming. Their spin is so bad. Hey, Texas Jules has become a YouTube member yet again. Thank you, Texas Jules. And this is for you. Oh boy, if I've got the music happening, I do not. Let me get it up here so we can actually hear it.
Welcome to the shit show.
Oh yes,
Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery, 'cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 4 more days of a Christmas, stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, balderdash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery.
let me break it down for you really quick. Just, and I say go over there, confirm what I'm saying, tell me if I'm wrong or right. I mean, you know, Jeremy was pretty damn spot on with what he said happened in those 15 minutes. And I can say that the bankruptcy lawyer did show up. You had Larry, you had every single person was in there that he said was in there. Lynette was looking mighty dapper, I would say. Amazing. Bankruptcy lawyer provided nothing at all. I had to write these down because I'm not going to show the video because that's something that if you're going to watch it, you'd have to watch it over on his channel. If you don't want to pay for it, maybe one day it'll be available for other people to watch. But it probably cost him money to get that, so he's not going to just give it away. I mean, come on. Asked Randy to itemize on both of the cases on those cases. Whenever he showed, okay, he explained to Randy, I want you to have her have an opportunity to respond to it. Give her 10 days after you've itemized what the bill is going to be. Okay. And what he's basically saying in all of this, Jack has seen everything. Awesome, Jack. So what he said was, hey, this is, he actually, Randy showed up thinking, this was just a status conference. That's why he didn't put any filings in, because it was just supposed to be a status conference so they could get this thing moving. That's what I said it was supposed to be before. And that's how Randy approached it also. And the judge was like, oh, well, you don't have any motions. Randy was like, yeah, but I can get those for him. He was like, well, give Miss Preston 10 days, after you sent that over to read it over. If she has any sort of response to it, break down, itemize where the costs were, and give her an opportunity to respond to it. And then we're going to set out a 30-day evidentiary hearing on that. And most likely whenever they have that, it's going to be, showing why that money needs to be there, and basically found that she's going to have to pay. It wasn't like, well, maybe she'll have to pay. It's like, no, she's going to have to pay. Randy needs to give her a breakdown so she can argue any of those reasons why those shouldn't be there, and explain how to proceed. Confirms that he's not. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. So and also the attorney. The bankruptcy attorney that showed up there explained very explicitly multiple times. He even tried to interject at one point in time, and the judge was like, so you're not representing her in this case. He just basically, shut up, stop giving her any legal advice, or else I'm going to hold you to it. So basically, the attorney wanted to talk about tolling and all this kind of stuff, but you don't understand that's already been handled. And the bankruptcy attorney would know that if he was any part of the case. He would have known that the tolling portion of it's already happened. So it's going to be hard for her to plead any of that stuff. Also, he did explain that she's going to have to, she is going to be held to the same standards as an attorney. If she's coming in filing pro se, she had plenty of time to get an attorney. She knows that she's had plenty of time to get the attorney. She has not. Instead, she's been out there asking for campers and buying things, spending money, and just going willy-nilly with whatever money she has, and not taking care of herself in the aspect of, hey, you've got to, if you're going to deal with this stuff, you got to deal with this stuff. You need to get yourself an attorney, and you need to handle that however you need to handle it. Judge was telling her straight up, like exactly like Randy said, we're not going to play this. You need to go get yourself an attorney. and was pretty clear with it. Let's see, told her, oh, and then again, her attorney tried to step in there. Her bankruptcy attorney, basically, the bankruptcy attorney showed up and confirmed that is gone. That pleading is gone. It is non-existent. The stay, there is no stay, which she kept screaming about on her. You notice how her YouTube posts all of a sudden just disappeared. I wonder what happened to them. Well, the stay went away. It was gone. It was wiped out. As soon as she got it dismissed, that stay is gone. That's it. Done. No more stay. Now, can the stay come back? Yes, but he has to get through that to the bankruptcy court. There's going to be a hearing on that. We talked about this yesterday. There's going to be a hearing on it, and in that hearing, the court is going to listen to what this guy has to say, and they'll make a determination whether she needs to refile or whether his excuse for not paying any attention and sort of screwing the pooch on it is gonna fly, because they may just say, well, that's on you, sir. You had the opportunity to go in there to hand walk it into court, and yet you didn't do that, so that's on you. That's what's going to happen there. First thing to do when entering a room is hit that like button. Thank you, Colleen. That's absolutely right. Hit that like button, make it feel good. It is, but like I said, go and view it for yourself. Because the stuff that the Flea had to say, we're gonna bring that up, because her post was just wrong on so many levels. So without a little further ado, here we go. The Flea strikes again, spinning a 15-minute scheduling conference like she's Edward R. Murrow covering World War II. Well, let's rip this apart Shizzy style, because every line of her just reporting is a sleight of hand to protect Preston and downplay Randy's filings. Flea's spin versus the actual record. The bankruptcy case is dismissed and refiled, or should I say, the bankruptcy case is dismissed and refiled. Well, Lisa, that's a lie, and you know it. The bankruptcy hasn't been refiled in some magical way that saves Michelle. There's only a hearing scheduled. Nothing's been granted. Nothing's been reopened. Nothing is protected. Or the only reason the bankruptcy lawyer was even in the courtroom was to tell the judge that the hearing exists and to make it clear he represents Michelle only in the bankruptcy, not in the actual state cases, period. But you let Bubbles run his mouth on your own live stream, swearing that the same lawyer was going to handle all of her cases. Lips was right there nodding like a trained seal. No, that wasn't an accident. It was a lie. You broadcast it. Hell, the truth is now on the record. The lawyer is a one-trick pony, and Bubbles sold a fairy tale, and you helped amplify it. Sweet cheeks. Granger defaulted because the stay and her lawyer's guess. She still has time to respond. Well, stop insulting people's intelligence. The stay ended on August 18th. Michelle still filed nothing. Her lawyer's death didn't stop the clock. It made it more urgent to find new counsel. She ignored it. She sat frozen while deadlines passed. Default is in some homework assignment you can turn in late for partial credit. It's the court saying you had your chance and you blew it. You spin that she still has time is delusional. She had time. She wasted it. Now the door is locked, and that's not bad luck. That is just failure. Randall didn't file proper motions. The judge said no. Well, wrong again. Randy filed exactly what needed to be filed. He hit Michelle with a motion for default in the Granger case and filed notice of 2-hour evidentiary hearing in the Hales case, and both were accepted. Both are alive. The judge didn't say no. The judge has said, not today, not in this 15-minute status check. Bring your disclosures, give her 10 days, and then we'll hear it at the evidentiary hearing. That's not rejection. That's how procedure works, but you twisted it for your viewers because the judge said no sounds better in your little echo chamber than in reality. Michelle is being walked into the courtroom slaughter. The judge didn't say she's paying. She just said get a lawyer. No, he didn't say the words you're screwed. Judges don't do sound bites for your chat. They do something worse. They quietly set the trap. The judge ordered Randy to itemize the sanctions, put the dollar figures on paper, and give Michelle 10 days to choke on him. He then cleared 2 hours of court time to go through it piece by piece. That isn't if she pays. That's how much she pays. And get a lawyer wasn't advice. It was a flare gun fired straight into her face. You're walking into a buzzsaw, woman, and you show up alone again, and you'll be sawdust. All cases continued to October 22nd because of the bankruptcy. And that's not a continuance. That's an execution date. October 22nd is locked for a 2-hour evidentiary hearing on sanctions. That's the court making time to put Michelle's conduct under a microscope and attach a price tag. Bankruptcy doesn't rewind the clock. She already ran out on your spin. Makes it sound like the judge pressed pause. In reality, the judge just set the hourglass. Michelle didn't storm out. Sheriff escorted her to safety. Well, neither you or I were in the hallways, so stop pretending you had a backstage pass. Maybe a deputy walked her out, maybe not. But what matters is Michelle walked out with a default motion in one case, sanctions hearing already booked in another, and that's not safe. That's cornered. You painting it as VIP treatment is pathetic fan fiction for your little chat room. Nobody should be behind it. Nobody believes she was escorted like some celebrity. She left the courthouse carrying nothing but her own failure and her tail between her legs, and you spun it into a fairy tale. It was only 15 minutes, no drama, nothing. 15 minutes. Sweetheart, that's all it took to blow her pity defense to pieces. Order the sanction numbers, set a 10-day deadline, and book 2 hours for an evidentiary hearing. On top of that, Randy filed for default in another case that very same day. That's not nothing. That's a trap snapping shut. And here's the part you can't wiggle out of. You live stream Bubbles lying about the bankruptcy lawyer covering everything with lips nodding along like it was gospel, and you helped sell the lie. You helped Michelle believe she had cover she never had. And now you're pretending it was never said, never promised, never broadcast. And that's not reporting. Well, that's just covering your own tracks while Michelle takes that fall. Bottom line here, Michelle's case isn't protected. It isn't paused. It isn't saved. She's standing in default in one case, facing sanctions in another. And also, meanwhile, you've got all of the other cases are still moving forward. She's staring down October 22nd as her reckoning, and the lie that dragged her this far, the bankruptcy lawyer fantasy, came straight out of Bubbles' mouth, was nodded along by lips, blasted onto his stream by you. Not now, all of you sons of bitches are scrambling because the truth is out. And if it's not Michelle that pays, it's not if Michelle pays. It's how much she is going to pay. Just so you know, it just to set the record straight there. But I don't think anybody paid too much attention to the lies that the Flea was saying, because, well, that just would hurt too much. That would just hurt too much. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Fallen Hero with the gifted membership. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day,
It's a new flavor of fuckery, 'cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, balderdash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. And all over again. Well, and it's not that she outright lies all the time. It's just that she tries to put a spin on it like it's no big thing. That's where she runs into most of her problems, is because she's doing the PR spin and she's failing miserably at it. I mean, here's the thing right here. Okay. Notice of evidentiary hearing. That's it. Please take notice that an evidentiary hearing will be held before the Honorable J. or K. Grope, judge of the above style court, the Levy County Courthouse, located at 355 South Court Street, Bronson, Florida, in Courtroom B on the 22nd day of October 2025 at 1:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as counsel may be heard on the following matter. Motion for sanctions pursuant to Florida Statute 57105, filed 9/18/2024. The hearing is expected to last approximately 2 hours. Please govern yourself accordingly. I mean, that right there is pretty damn clear of what's going on with it. I mean, here, now let me show you this extra little piece right down here. It also shows right here, and I just had to pull a little bit out of there. I hereby certify that on 9/10/2025, a true and correct copy of the foregoing was electronically filed with the Clerk of Courts via the Florida e-filing portal and served pursuant to Florida judicial numbers portal to Michelle Preston Pro Se at the email addresses of her same registered with portal, because she has just as many email addresses as she has actual names. Surprising she can actually keep up with that kind of stuff, because that's always a son of a buck to do. Now, I forgot to do this. So give me just a second. I have to do a couple of things here to fix this. Make sure that I got that knocked out. Sometimes I don't have those things out of there. Let me get these really quick. I like to keep it a little cleaner than this. And I think that's it. Yeah. And we're going to make sure that I don't have anything else here that could be wrong. All right. And then apply. There we go. Continue. And there. And save. Saved. All right. So you did a great job with your explanation. Bravo. Well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, and like I said, don't take my word for it. Go and view the video yourself. I mean, I know it's a membership, but I'm telling you, it is well worth the watch. Whenever you see it, you're going to go, oh, did you see everything that was being said? I mean, if you don't understand it, I hope that my explanation helped with it. I mean, Jeremy did the same explanation, except maybe probably better than I could. So I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm just an retard with a helmet. Go Falls. Don't you start there, Webb. Don't you start with me, because we got to play them. We got to play them this weekend. So, yeah, Fleece lies as much as in low PIR. Yeah. Dang it! Premature Blukaki. What? To be careful of blue tape. Yes, you and Jeremy did a great job explaining. Well, thank you. Oh yeah, he absolutely did. Jeremy did a really good job explaining it. He was very clear on what he was saying. And I was curious, because I saw that post and I was just like, okay, one person saying one and one person saying another. So what is the truth between these two? Oh. And then you find out and you're just like, yeah, nothing that Fleesa said was true. It was all spin, because she can't get it right. Well, she did. She must have a membership to Jeremy's thing, or was she watching? That'd be interesting to know if she was watching it. because she's saying things that only a person that would be there that watched it. So either she has a membership on Jeremy's, and ooh, that would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? Madam Mayor and Brett had the same thing Jeremy said happened. Yeah, yeah, but yeah. See that? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, like I said, it's a 15-minute video. That's it, 15 minutes. But the judge was very, very clear. I am not here. I'm here to make sure that this thing moves along. And whenever she jumped up and said, "My lawyer died," the judge was, Scott died, and it's just like, judge is just looking at her like, okay, I'll give her a little bit of time to say what she has to say, and then I'm going to politely tell her, well, it sounds like you need an attorney. There's no excuse for her not filing that stuff out. Well, just in this particular case, I mean, we'll see how she acts going forward. I mean, here's the thing, she's looking at defaulting on all kinds of crap because she hasn't done what's been asked of her, and it could be that maybe she's being told bad information. Who knows? I don't know what's going on with her. I don't live in her head, thank God, because that would be a scary place to live. But no, I don't know what she's thinking. Stark was trying to bail on her months ago. Yeah. Oh yeah, Stark was definitely trying to bail on her months ago. Well, there was no point in hanging out there. Tug Raid, welcome, Mary Boyle. Good to see you. Love the Tug Raiders. They're pretty spot on. And thank you, Tug. You're the man. The judge's response, yeah, said she'll be treated as an attorney if she does not have exactly. That's exactly what the judge says. That I would highly suggest you get legal counsel. Now, the thing is the moment that she found out that her attorney had passed, she probably, like most normal people that actually have some sort of brain cell that's rattling around in this thing we call a head, would go, my attorney passed away, I think I need to get a new attorney, and should have been out there searching for one instead of trying to find a camper and then posting about it, or trying to sell things, or saying that she's still in a state that she's not in. All of the things that she was blabbering about, I don't know. Maybe the lawyer who's not a lawyer that everybody thinks should be a lawyer was giving her some advice. I don't know. Maybe it was a lawyer that's not a lawyer anymore was giving her advice. Maybe it was a disbarred lawyer that was giving her advice. I mean, who knows? Maybe it was an actual lawyer giving her advice. I don't know. I wasn't there. She was in default before Stark died. Yeah, I mean, I think that's right. She was pretty close to it. I think she was pretty close to being in default before Stark died. And then we're talking about Teresa, Madam Mayors, because that's the one we're talking. There's two that we're dealing with here. So in Madam Mayors, I'm not sure if she was in default at the time, but she was in default by the time that they got to the hearing. She had plenty of time to file a response. Her attorney could have filed a response. Hell, even the ghostwriter could have written a response, but there was nothing. None of that was done. So she can blame that. Too many lawyers who aren't lawyers who want to be lawyers. I don't understand it. I mean, I would never want to be able to do this stuff. There's too much case law. I would get lost. I would go down some sort of rabbit hole. Well, yeah, but she might have run up against the clock on that one, because when that lawsuit was filed, and because when the bankruptcy started in June, I think that's right. I think it was June that the bankruptcy started. So if she was in default I didn't really dig into that far enough, but there is that possibility that if she was in default, or even if she was a day out of it, as soon as that bankruptcy was dismissed, she had to have something filed, which she didn't do. July 5th. Why do you mean July 5th? Would have been because the bankruptcy was filed on the 6th or 7th, something like that. I think it was the 8th. I don't know. Let me see. I'm trying to remember when that was. Because and then whenever the bankruptcy whenever you have a bankruptcy, it puts a stay on everything, which means that things get told. That's what happens whenever it's told. Basically, they just take that time and they put a pause on it. So, say for example, you've got 29 days to file a response, and on the 28th day, you have the bankruptcy hit. Then what they do is they put a pause on it, but it doesn't stop. The clock stops on it. It's sort of like it puts a pause on it, and as soon as that bankruptcy comes back up, it starts right back up again. I mean, that's see, Fed 1 also ending default judgment. Well, they have filed responses in Fed 1. They have filed responses in Fed 1. But there's a possibility if that one may end up going in front of a jury. Fed 1 may. It's a possibility. You don't know because you don't know what's going to happen in the next year. You know, it's not like you're going to be able to have this case decided in a short period of time, because there's already been asking for a jury trial, which means that, and also because the amounts that are involved in it, most likely there will be something like that. Well, thank you both. You know, that makes my insides feel all nice and fuzzy. Giving out those memberships is one way to help out this channel. The other way is what do they call that? I think they call it breadstick money. That helps keep me on the air doing this kind of stuff. Thank you so much, Sherry Nail. I appreciate you so much. For you and Blake both.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of buttery, 'cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, bald, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. All over again.
Thank you both so much, Blake, and most definitely Sherry. And make sure you show them some love, because that makes it available. All the new videos are coming out, which I dropped a new one for members only tonight. Well, this morning, after the other one became public. And then I also posted up on Facebook and made that happen. She's letter money. Oh, that keeps me in some paper right there. That'll get me a pen for sure. Definitely give me a pen. Maybe even a couple of dirty pictures. Thank you so much for that, Colleen. Oh, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. That right there is awesome as hell. That keeps, like I said, that's almost better than breadstick money. That gives me a new pen and paper. I like it. Thank you so much. It's wet now. Working well. We'll have to do a rerun. Have a good night. You have a good night also, Patty Cake. You have a wonderful evening, and be happy and peaceful. I mean, there's like I said, there's all kinds of craziness out there in the world, so everybody needs to be safe. Well, thank you, Linda. And I do have a letter for you guys tonight, just so you know. It's probably good. I'm hoping it is, but let's get into this right here, because this one's a good one. All right, so this is what was filed. Oh, thank you, Clouds, for the super sticker. And that right there, and guess what I found today. I was looking for it and I had to dig it up. So let me see if I can pull this thing up right here. I was looking for this and I said, man, I think I lost them. And it turns out I did not. And this right here for you in the clouds, because you gave a super sticker. I have got a foot for you. I told you. I thought I still had some of these. Look at that. See all the little feet right there? Well, your foot gets handed to the Hall of Blame right here. Thank you so much in the clouds for the super sticker. And that is greatly appreciated. Look at that right there. You got red foot sitting right next to a pink foot. I love it. Thank you. That is wonderful. Susie Minor, never late. You are here. Yeah, there is never any late on my streams. You show up when you show up. You have a good time. We laugh, we joke, and we enjoy things over here. Gotcha. You got a foot. Yay. Yes, you did in the clouds. Yes, you did. Most definitely got a foot. I love that. Love that Muppet. Therese Granger, Brett Granger. Okay, so now this is part of the trespass 5. Okay, this one here, as you can see, is part of the thumbnail. Okay, there's a notice of evidentiary hearing for the thumbnail case. Now you have to remember that Therese and Madam Mayor and Brett filed a separate lawsuit outside of the trespass 5. This right foot is better than a boat. Oh yeah, that most definitely. So Therese Granger, Brett Granger, they by and through counsel, they hereby respectfully move this court to enter a default judgment against defendant Michelle Preston, and in support therefore states on June 28th, 2025, they were served with a summons. Okay, here's your dates. And complaint in this action on July 5th, they filed a notice of automatic stay. So in June, it was, see, like I said, this is where the clock stops. Okay. So June 28th, they filed a summons and complaint. On July 5th, they filed a notice of automatic stay. Okay. So it was they still had more time to file a response, which temporarily stayed this case pursuant to federal bankruptcy law. On August 18th, 2025, the federal bankruptcy case was dismissed, thus terminating the automatic stay. So this is what I was telling you. June 28th, if they had 30 days, they had until July 28th. And then whenever August 10th, because it happened before then, they didn't file any response before this. On July 5th, it paused everything. August 18th, it started that clock up again. And here we are in September. More than 30 days had well passed. Pursuant to Florida law, the time for the defendant to respond to complaint resumed running upon termination of the automatic stay. Under the Florida law, defendants are required to serve a response pleading within 20 days after service of process. Deborah Marie, welcome, and I'll hit you here in just a second. Okay, so this is 20 days after service of process they have to file. They were still under the 20 days. They had 3 more days. July, let's see. So if that was on the 28th, and July 5th, that was a pretty short period of time. 20 days definitely passed after the 18th. Yeah, so they lost their time to respond. The time period provided for filing a response of pleading is not affected by the expiration of a term of court. Does that make sense? Okay. Following the dismissal of the bankruptcy case on August 18th, 2025, defendant had an additional period to file response of pleading pursuant to federal bankruptcy law. Okay. To date, defendant has not filed any response of pleading or otherwise defended this action other than the notice of automatic stay, which we've already read. defendant has failed to plead or otherwise defend as provided by the Florida Rules of Civil Procedure, and the time for doing so has expired. Pursuant to Florida Rules of Civil Procedure 1.500b, when a party against whom affirmation relief is sought has failed to plead or otherwise defend as provided by the rules, the court may enter a default against such party. I certify that the filing was not required under Rule 1.20, wherefore plaintiffs respectfully request that this honorable court enter a default against defendant Michelle Preston, grant her such other and further relief as this court deems just and proper. Respectfully submitted, Randall Shockett. And then it tells you on 9/10, which was yesterday, a true correct copy of the foregoing was electronically filed with the clerk of the courts via the Florida Courts e-filing portal and served pursuant to the Florida Judicial Administrative. Very clear on what was going on. It's been a tough 2 days with the loss of any hope for the younger generations. Well, we'll get into that a little bit later on in the stream. We're trying to keep a little bit of an upbeat here. Deborah Marie has become a YouTube member, and you know what that means, folks?
Welcome to the shit
Thank
show.
you, Deborah Marie.
Every single day.
Every single day.
A new flavor of buggery. Cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, balder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuggery. And all over again. Ooh, yes. I love it. Thank you very much. And welcome to the Nut House. I even have t-shirts for that. I probably should get one so I can show it off to you. Do swaying along. Yes. Okay. We're gonna do this letter, and then we'll hit the down notes, because I hate the down notes. I really do, but you have to do them. Maybe not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit you right after we get this letter out to you guys, because I think we may end up having to do this letter twice. We will see if that's what we need to do, but I do have an open letter for you guys, just because I feel we need a little bit of levity in this place.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzy, Wiz, Nut.
An open letter when your case died with your lawyer, Preston. There you were, sitting in the courtroom, not hiding on Zoom this time, not skulking in the shadows, but actually there, nails freshly done, hair freshly dyed, looking like you just walked out of a salon instead of a docket. Presentable, sure, but polish on the outside doesn't hide the stench of rot on the inside. You strutted in thinking an appearance would distract from the fact your entire case's file is nothing but dust and excuses. And then you reach for that same pathetic card you always do. My lawyer died. Well, not law, not defense, just tragedy dressed up as strategy, and as if grief somehow suspends deadlines, but you knew he was dead. That wasn't even breaking news. That was a shock that morning. It was, you knew this. And what did you do with that knowledge? Did you hire a new counsel? Did you take responsibility every grown adult in litigation must take whenever their lawyer drops out or drops dead? No, you sit there like the rules don't apply to you. Like time would stop because you fluttered your lashes and whispered loss into a microphone. Well, the judge, he wasn't buying it. He cut you off at the knees. He told Randy, itemize the sanctions, put numbers in black and white, hand her the bill, give her 10 days to choke on it, and then set the hearing. And that wasn't compassion. That wasn't mercy. That was discipline. You didn't earn sympathy. You earned a deadline. And while you stood there still nodding, mumbling thank yous, Randy walked back to his office, lit the fuse. He filed for judicial default because you've done nothing. Do you know what that means? It means you already lost. Not might lose, not in danger of losing, lost. Because you knew your lawyer was dead, you knew the bankruptcy had been dismissed, and you knew the deadlines were ticking. You had weeks to act, hire counsel, file anything, hell, scribble a motion on a notebook paper and staple it to a filing fee, but you did nothing. You sat there as if silence was strategy, like deadlines were optional. And now Randy's asking the judge to shut the book on your bullshit permanently. You didn't just miss your shot, you refused to take it. Your happy ass was served in June, bankruptcy stunt in July, bankruptcy dismissed in August. Since then, not a damn word out of your mouth except on the YouTubes and Facebook. No answer, no motion, no defense. You didn't just miss a step, you refused to dance. And now Randy is asking the judge to do the obvious. Stamp default right across your forehead. Shut your case down without even bothering to hear you out. And that's not injustice, that's just the rules of doing their job. But Randy didn't stop there. He also filed a notice that will drag you back into court on October 22nd for 2 full hours with your name on the chopping block. 2 hours isn't a scheduling fluff. That's the court saying we're going to take our time tearing your garbage apart. All of the lies, all of the foolishness. It's not a quick status check. It's a slow roast. 2 hours under the lights where every excuse, every contradiction, every scrubbed YouTube post you try to bury will be played back against you. You are the exhibit. Because let's talk about those YouTube posts. You thought nobody would notice when you pulled them down, but we did. We saw the ones where you swore the stay was still in effect long after it was dead. We saw you telling supporters a fantasy that didn't exist. You scrubbed them not because they were irrelevant. You scrubbed them because they were damning. They proved you lied. They proved you knew. And now their absence screams louder than their presence ever did. Guilty, panicked, cornered, and all of it is saved. Meanwhile, instead of raising money for a lawyer like any sane adult, you were out begging for a camper. A camper. While deadlines ran out, while cases collapsed, while filings stacked against you, you were rattling little tin cup out there to fund your next RV adventure. Imagine explaining to a judge, I couldn't hire counsel, Your Honor, because I was saving for a motorhome. Well, woman, that ain't survival. That's stupidity at its finest. That's just spinning in the face of responsibility while expecting the court to take you seriously. And of course, there's bubbles, always bubbles. Maybe he whispered in your ear again, promising some bankruptcy lawyer was going to swoop in and cover everything, every case, every courtroom, every problem. Maybe you trusted him. Well, and if you did, then once again, you let yourself get played by the man who uses people as pawns and discards them when they're no longer useful. Did he throw you under the bus, or did he just let you lie down in front of it? Either way, you're the one that's flattened, and don't bother denying it. There's a record of him saying that he was doing what he was doing. We heard him promising this bankruptcy lawyer was going to save you, even rattling his own can to raise money for it. He told you he was helping, and then he just took his happy ass out of country. That's not help, that's sabotage. He needed that vacation more than you did. Flea, oh yeah, she's tossed you too. Yeah, the one who cackled and schemed besides you has already started moving the goalposts to make sure your name is on the paperwork and not hers. She didn't get down with you. She shoved you forward to take the first hit. And that's not loyalty, sweetheart. That's betrayal, and you let it happen. Good job. Because you're still clinging to that fantasy that someone else will carry the blame. But here's the brutal truth. And even now, with defaults hanging over your hearings and hearings loom, you still won't take responsibility. Not for your lies, not for your delays, not even for your choices. You blame death, you blame bankruptcy, you blame bad luck, you blame everyone but the face that's looking back at that face in the mirror. That's why this collapse is total. It's not because you lost a lawyer, not because the system is unfair, because you simply refuse to own all of the bullshit that you've done. And if you think you can play the same trick that everyone else in your little circle has tried with the no-show, the last-minute delay, the emergency excuse about health or hardship or some new crisis, you might want to think that one again, because the court has seen it all already. They've seen the dodges, the disappearances, the fake emergencies, the 11th hour stall tactics, and each one of those ends up the same way, with the hammer dropping even harder. If you try it, the only thing you'll prove is you don't belong right there in the same pit with the rest of those cowards that couldn't face the consequences that they earned. So here's where you stand. One motion, asking the court to end your case outright. Another, scheduling 2 hours to shred your excuses in public. You can't stay quiet because default will bury you. You can't open your mouth because the hearing will gut you. You box yourselves in on every side, and those walls are closing in. Oh, so damn tight. Do you feel how tight it's gotten in there? Makes you feel young again, doesn't it? This is a tragedy. This isn't misfortune. This isn't about a lawyer's death or a bankruptcy filing. This is about you. You're screwing up. You're being held accountable. Your addiction to excuses. Your obsession with pity plays and pity funds. Your decision to chase a camper instead of a competent defense attorney. Your blind trust in a snake who left you stranded. The collapse is yours, though, built by your own hands, accelerated by your own cowardice, and now sealed by Randy's filings. You don't get to cry victim anymore. You don't get to point at bad luck. You don't get to scream about unfairness. You let your case die with your lawyer, and then you sat back and watched. October 22nd isn't a hearing, it's your reckoning. The only suspense is whether the judge says default before or after he says sanctions. Either way, you walk out of that courtroom with nothing but your fresh nails, your cheap dye job, and the knowledge that this entire collapse wasn't done by you, done to you. It was done by you. Sincerely, Papa Nut. Velcro shoed, short bus rider, and still more competent dead asleep than you are alive in a courtroom, and definitely wouldn't want to be your daddy.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzy, Wiz, Nut.
And then, of course, we've got, maybe not with the 10 gifted memberships.
Welcome to the shit show.
Oh, yes.
Every single day.
All you new members show maybe not some love. Cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, bald, dash pop, cock, bollocks, and fuckery. And all over again. Yes, you got a foot, maybe not. I love it. Thank you. You forgot to tell you that Shara posted a video today. I did see that Shara had posted a video, but I want that video to run for a little bit before I actually cover that video because she needs the watch hours. So yes, all of you folks, if you haven't checked it out, go check out Shara's video. I will go over it tomorrow. I did watch it live. I was working and just popped it up so I could listen. It's pretty informative. I would definitely suggest going and checking it out. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Max, for reminding me of that. And have 0 bits of heart for Lynette, Ducey, Crook, Flea, and anyone else on that side. I mean, they matter none to me. I mean, it is. They're irrelevant to me. I'm reading through the cases. I mean, that's the truth of this. Is I look and I see the cases that are going on. I see the kind of issues that are going on and talk about them, and hopefully break them down where it's a little bit easier to comprehend sometimes. And sometimes I get it wrong. I'm not an attorney. I'm just looking at it as a layman. So. And I suck at it most of the time, but my letters are fun. My letters are fun. The judge, Turtles ate my checkbook. The Turtles ate my checkbook. Well, and here's the thing. It's not like other kinds of court cases. Okay, whenever you receive that, it just puts you into further debt. Here's the thing. Lynette came into this thinking that she was going to get money out of this guy, Jeremy Hales. Oh, look at all the things he does. Look at all the money he's not going to miss a few $1,000s here or there. Let me just go ahead and take it away from him. Let me do nothing to earn this money. Let me just go ahead and start some shit with him, because I deserve that. I deserve that money. I mean, it's just a little bit. He'll settle it because he doesn't have time to fight this kind of thing, and he knows I don't have any money. So, I'm at no loss. Really, I'm sure that's what Bubbles told you. Bubbles probably going to be sanctioned at some point in time too for his shenanigans. That and his shenanigans may actually end up getting him referred over on the bar. That depends on this judge, especially whenever he basically told the judge, I ain't showing up. That's what he told the judge. I ain't showing up. You can't force me to. I'm not going to be there. Matter of fact, I'm going to file a motion, to get you removed off the case. And I'm going to be sneaky about it. Well, that didn't work out too well for him. Judge Hinkle got involved and said, no, this is not the way it works. All these folks are constantly doing this kind of stuff. Covering this case is kind of like sex, Shizzy. You don't have to be good at it just to enjoy yourself. Well, it helps whenever you're good at it, though. Doesn't it? One of the worst aspects of what has transpired is that Jeremy Hales and George have not been able to do the philanthropy stuff. Yeah, that is one of the things. It's also, you have to understand whenever you've got employees, and this is something that, Lynette wouldn't know, because when was the last time she worked? Seriously, when was the last time she actually worked? Because as far as we can tell, she hasn't worked for the past 7 years at least. I mean, that's according to her bankruptcy filing. She hasn't worked. She hasn't earned any money. So what does she know about hard work?
I mean, really, what does she know about hard work? What does John know about hard work? Aren't they both on disability? So I mean, maybe at some point in time they used to work hard. Now it's just grift off of everybody. Woe is me. Woe is me. I mean, I think a lot of you folks probably do work or spent most of your life working, and some of you might even be on disability. But I don't see you guys going out there, throw me, well, I need a new camper so I can go travel. I mean, what happened to the flea market? Is that supposed to be work? Maybe. I'm curious, does that actually work? Because I don't think that'd be considered work. She's doing fundraising for her 501c3, right? That's what she said. She's not working. No. She doesn't know anything about work. I mean, she would have to show a bankruptcy court if she was actually working and making income. That would be part of one of her schedules on that. But according to her, she hasn't worked. So, the flea market doesn't count, right? It can't count. That wouldn't be considered work. That'd be fundraising, because everything that she does is for those turtles. Everything she does is for somebody else, but not for her. Well, except for, her hair and nails, but that's a different story. Depends on the poll, I reckon. Yes, disability here. Very grateful for it. Trying to help some folks when I can with what little I could do. Absolutely. And I mean, I had a cousin that was disabled also. I mean, and he still worked as much as he could. That was something that he was proud of. He did what he could. I mean, look at it like this. Okay. Think about one of my favorite people here. Okay. And I want you to really, really like get this in your head whenever I say this. One of my favorite people. Met him at Dollywood, Broken Baker. He's disabled because he's got a bad back. And whenever I say bad back, I mean really bad back, where he can't work anymore. He's on disability. He can't physically work. But you know what he does? He goes and he does stream after stream after stream. He covers court cases. He does the research. He does all of the things that you do whenever you turn YouTube into something more than just a place to rant and rave. And he's gained a nice following out of it. And he's put the work in. Both him and I started almost at the same time on YouTube. I've got a 3-year anniversary coming up on November 3rd. That I'll have been on YouTube since November 3rd. Imagine that. 3 years I've been doing this. Broken Baker's been doing it the same amount of time, and that man works 10 times harder than I do on any given day. And like I said, you don't have to be out there doing physical labor to be working, but he's got it to a point where he may not get disability because he's making an income, or he may still get disability. I don't know. I don't ask him how his finances are. I know that he has the same thing as we do here in the United States with disability. He's in Denmark. So it shows how much that, these folks that are doing YouTube are out there really putting in the work. Look at Megan Fox. I mean, look at how much time and effort she puts into doing the research, doing the, going on, doing streams, talking with people, finding people. I mean, she is busting her ass out there. And if anybody thinks, oh, well, anybody can do this. Yeah, anybody can do this. But Megan Fox took it to a whole nother level. Look at people like Nick Rekieta. I like him, love him, hate him. It doesn't matter. That man put work into everything that he's done. put a lot of work into it, put the time in, sitting there on long trial streams. You know how painful that is. And then to engage with people the entire time. Same with Broken Baker. Look at the work that experts put into this. Look at the work that Jeremy's putting into just a small portion of YouTube. And then the rest of it, he's out there doing auctions, buying, selling, purchasing, whatever he's doing. He is constantly busy. And you get someone like Lynette that doesn't want to do that. They don't want to take that time to go out there and put that kind of work in. They want to blame everybody else for what isn't going right instead of taking responsibility for themselves and saying, if I do the work, it doesn't matter. And not relying on everybody else to do it for you. Thank you very much, Blake, for the real work you do with the letters and her not working. I mean, and I like I said before, I think that Lynette could probably do really well on YouTube if she put her back into it. She could probably do really well. The only problem is she's gotten herself in such a pickle that she doesn't know how to get out of it. Thank you so much, Blake. I appreciate you. And Emma Washington with a $2 super chat. Thank you for the Tug Raiders. Welcome again. I love it whenever Tug has his Raiders come over. I mean, look at the amount that Tug has done. The amount of research that man does will blow you away. And then he still finds time to spend with his kids. Still finds plenty of time to be with his kids and enjoy every single one of them. Joyce Byrne with money for the shiny stickers. Oh, you are such a doll. I love it. I love it. Well, I've got a bar for you. How's that? It's not a foot. It's more like a bar. Now these are sort of limited edition. There's only so many of these on this helmet. And I've been trying to place them in weird places. So whenever this thing gets auctioned off, you'll spot them. There's a bar right there. See, little red one. I mean, I do what I can on YouTube. If I had more time in my day, I would probably do more. Then you guys would just get bored of me. But Yamaha and Tug are both amazing voices. I know exactly. If you haven't checked out, I have a stories channel. Like that person right there, I have a story. We know his evil brother, Yamaha biker. But if you ever get a chance, go check out I Have a Story. He tells ghost stories. He tells tales. And his voice is always enjoyable to listen to. It's not like mine where I'm just like, whatever. It is what it is. It is one of those where, you've got somebody that actually finds the story, sits down, records those stories, listens to them, makes sure that all of the parts are in there that he wants to have in. I mean, he puts work into it. He puts so much into it. Super chats are working for you again. Well, Valor View, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It is appreciated. Yes, the super chats, sometimes they can act all funky. I've had them go crazy, but November 3rd, that's going to be an interesting one. So on November 3rd, which I think is on a Friday, I could be wrong. But what I may do is do like a long stream on November 3rd. I will see. I'll try to work this out with my wife because that's going to be an odd one. I may not be able to do it November 3rd. I may not be able to. I may be out of town on November 3rd. So I may have to do it whenever I get back in town. Maybe before Thanksgiving. I'll put together a nice long stream. And what I'll do, and I've sort of been thinking about this. Glad to be a member. You've been a member here for 9 months, Valor. I'll get you with the song here in a second. So here's what I'm thinking that I want to do for that stream. I'm going to play you some of my favorite stuff that we've done on here. Some of my favorites that I've done, some of the Sunday Spice stuff, some of my guests that I've had on. I'll probably have a few guests come on, and we're gonna show you stuff that maybe you haven't ever seen before. Because I've got a catalog. Oh, do I have a catalog with over, what is it, 1.4 thousand videos at this point? I've got some morning shows that I did for almost a year straight. I was doing morning streams, and daily, like Monday through Friday, I was doing a morning stream. Yeah. I'm not going to show any of those because, well, most of those would be political, and I've moved away from a lot of the political stuff. So whenever I say the next part that I'm going to be talking about, it is very, very sad that in our political landscape that we have people that think it's okay to delete other people. We've seen it twice in just a short period of time. First, you have this young Ukrainian girl, whether you like that war or not, doesn't matter, that is riding on a subway, and an insane man gets up and ends her life. It's sad. It's sad that, from what I've heard, and I could be wrong on this, but I've heard some of what he has said, and it is not happy. It's not pleasing. See if I can find it real quick, because I think it needs to be heard, and I don't want to misquote what I heard, and I want to make sure that it's correct before I do this. I believe, is this it? I want to make sure that I have the correct one here. Let's see. I want to make sure that I have it. If it was this, and no, this may not be the correct one, but this was so quickly forgotten because of Charlie Kirk. Hello, Shelley Huckabee. Hello, Shelley Huckabee. And I just want you to understand that, I'm not doing this to glorify any sort of death or anything like that. I just want to make sure that you hear what's being said about her.
I know this has gotten national attention. I know that there is a lot of thoughts about this case. There's policy decisions being made because of this case. But as someone who just talked to the family of the victim, I hope you'll remember her. Because this is hard for them. It's their case, and we will bring justice here. And I want to add one thing that I hope the family won't mind me sharing. But after Irina's death, the embassy in Ukraine called and said, "We'll help you bring her home." And her family said no. They said she loved America. We're going to bury her here. So I think we can give her an America to be proud of. As Mr. Barnacle said, something here is broken, and we're here to fix it.
Even more tragic, she chose to come to Charlotte to escape the violence of her war-torn home in Ukraine. Irina had settled into her community. She made friends. She immediately got a job. The first day she was allowed to work, and she got a work permit here, she got a job that very first day. She worked at a senior citizen center. She worked at a pizza place. She took care of animals in the neighborhood. She was building her young life. She had recently moved in with her partner. Her family let us know she graduated from college in Kyiv with a degree in art and restoration. We don't know the extent of what obstacles she faced in the Ukraine, other than we did learn just a few moments ago that she was living in a bomb shelter. Sadly, Everyone saw in surveillance video how tragic her life ended. We're shocked, we're saddened. It's very, very difficult. This young lady rode that train many times. She was probably tired after a long day at work and just trying to get home to her loved ones, but she never made it. In an instant, her life was over, and her mother, her father, her siblings, her brother and sister, and her other family and friends, their lives will never be the same. As you heard from U.S. Attorney Ferguson, we spoke with Erna's mother, Anna, and her uncle just a few minutes ago, and we told them of the federal charges brought against Carlos Brown Jr. We hope this additional charge will help bring them a measure of justice and accountability for this horrific act.
And that was them talking about that young lady losing her life. It wasn't just them that mentioned this. The White House mentioned it.
And perhaps most shamefully of all, the majority of the media, many outlets in this room, decided that her murder was not worth reporting on originally because it does not fit a preferred narrative. Many of the journalists in this room spilled plenty of ink trying to smear Daniel Penny for defending a subway car from a deranged lunatic in New York City, but none of those same reporters lift a finger to write stories about an actual murderer. Here is the truth that and perhaps
that right there. How awful. Yeah. NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, nobody wanted to talk about it. Yet we end up with these kinds of people. Jasmine Crockett, for example, from Texas.
And if you really want to know who the criminals are in this country, you can Google it. You don't have to trust me. But the people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet for whatever reason, they sit and they serve at the pleasure of the president. They are the ones that were there on January 6th, tearing our democracy down physically. And now we have them tearing us down right here from within.
And that kind of stuff leads to people being even worse than that. I mean, she can do whatever she wants to. I mean, it is a free country, but it shows where our country is going, the kind of attitudes that are out there. And you got people that are cheering on, Charlie Kirk's passing, thinking that it's okay because they didn't agree with his ideology. You got politicians that don't want to take responsibility for what they've been saying. You've got people that are more concerned with making sure that they're right and not making sure that, they've looked at the horrible things that's been perpetrated on our country. These are and another one. Happened tonight in Annapolis.
Now, we're getting new information as you look live there in Annapolis, Maryland. This is the U.S. Naval Academy. There is a victim being taken out there. We are now getting word from officials there are multiple victims being assessed by emergency medical staff. One victim, at least, is being transported, and there you see it, from the Naval Academy by medevac with serious, potentially life-threatening wounds. Again, this is the U.S. Naval Academy. Early on, we had reports. Now, we're getting new information as you.
Yes, the rifle used to delete Charlie Kirk was a Mauser 98, 30-06. The ammunition was engraved with trans and anti-fascist ideological statements straight from ATF source. Yes, that is correct, Jack. That is exactly where that came from. So whenever Jack says that, it shows that it was something. It was planned. You know, that this person did this intentionally. And it's sort of sad to know that there's folks that will be, you know, celebrating this and wishing that's kind of harm on other citizens of their country. It is. All of it's insane, too damn sad. I explained to your 21-year-old last night that when we talk about protecting First Amendment rights, you have to protect the rights of the people you dislike the most, because someday you will be there. Mm-hmm. I know nothing about pew-pews. Is that a powerful one? Yes, a 30-06 is what you would use to take down a deer. Yeah, it's and I do have an update. It's probably a little bit old. This is about 7:30. This is all crazy. Yes, Sherry, it is all crazy. Well, I just don't get it. I have never once been tempted to lay hands on anyone because I disagree with their political position. But there are people that are like that. You know, you have to remember that, you know, you're putting, you know, if you're putting your face out there, there's people that want to get notoriety or cause harm, cause havoc, push an agenda, whatever it might be. Then, you know, you won't know what this guy's motivation was until he's caught. Or girl, where they don't know whether it's male or female. Yeah, that lovely young lady. Yeah, she was absolutely beautiful. It's funny because whenever I saw that picture, I was like, oh my gosh, it reminds me of Jenny. I knew this girl, Jenny, that looked just like her at a place I used to work. Oh, Valor View, glad to be here and welcome.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yes,
Every single day,
9 months,
a new flavor of buggery, 'cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, balderdash, poppycock, bollocks, and buggery. And for you, Sherry, I appreciate you. I think I got the name right. Yes, Sherry, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Just learned your cousin was brought into the investigation. He works for the Bureau. Well, I hope that he finds out what in the hell is going on. And, you know, that doesn't mess up. Yeah. 98 Mauser is typically a 8mm caliber, not a 30-06. Yeah, I mean, I've fired the Mauser 98. It's pretty. It's got a little bit of a kick to it. Go back to World War II. Germans used 9mm. Only sniper used the Mauser. I know. I've fired the Mauser. It's actually a pretty. It's got a little bit of a kick. So why was she killed? Because
Guy was crazy. Guy is a little bit of a loon. It's yeah, it's because he is a bit of a crazy person. I thought I had the audio on that. It might have been removed. There was a conversation that he had where he was talking about it and said that he was saying that there was mechanical things that were making him do it, that he didn't do it, that the mechanical parts inside his body made him do it. Yeah. That's what his excuse was. And it's just, it is sad. It's just sad that there's people out here in the world that have this hatred for other people to the point that they would cause harm. I can't play the music at all, but if this gives you any idea what was left behind. Him with his family. This is what was left behind. That they'll never be able to see their father ever again. Yeah. Yeah, just out for a stroll with his kids and his wife, doing things that any normal person would be out doing with their kids, be out doing with their family. No different. And because he had a voice, they wanted to, remove him because they didn't agree with his beliefs. Yep. Good night, Starzy. Yeah, Charlie Kirk had a 4-year-old daughter and 1-year-old son. His babies were there. And his wife and girls watching it happen. So sad. The crazy homeless ride. The trains here. Stay off the street. Stay away from police. Yeah. And, this is the... And that's from Salt Lake City. Says FBI, Salt Lake City. FBI released a video of the shooter who murdered Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University on September 10th. Following the shooting, the individual jumped from the rooftop, runs away from the location. Trace evidence collected at the rooftop includes shoe impressions, a forearm imprint, a palm print. The shooter's weapon and ammunition were recovered from the woody area near the university. Yeah, these were what was being showed. And there he is. Yeah, they also don't have anyone checking for tickets after you're on the train. Yeah. Hope we can get DNA from the rifle. I hope they can catch whoever did this and bring it to justice. At least have some sort of reason for why this happened. I mean, we understand why it happened, but I mean, what was their motivation? We don't have anyone checking for tickets after you're on a train. Wouldn't you like to know? I didn't mean you personally. I just mean in general. There's more to people than looks. We do talk about looks when males get into. They're people first. Just my opinion. Yeah, you're right. UVU is in Orem. What about when I was in Salt Lake City? The CIA did. No, I don't. I won't buy into anything. I won't buy into any of it. We'll see. I mean, this is a person that they have of interest. Don't know if this is the person, but this is one of the people that's of interest. They would like to talk with them. If you know who it is, reach out to the FBI and, have a talk with them. Doesn't mean that you will meet this person, but that's who they're looking for. So we'll see if they're able to, find out who the person is. I hope they do. Oh, hold on. Anyhow, anyone notice that the two men right behind him seems like they're hand signals? See, now that's something that we don't know. Everybody's saying something like that because they want to find something that's innocuous, make something out of it. I don't know. See, that's whenever I see things like that, that could have been anything. That could have been them swatting a fly, just a normal movement. They might have been, just had an itch. Who knows? We don't know. And I try not to scrutinize those things too much. Unless they can come out, knowing what a brilliant mind, whether you agree with the positions or not, I can say how sad that is. Yes. I'm off to bed. Been a long day. It's been a long day for me too, Elka. I've got a crazy day tomorrow with Mo at the deep end. But that's gonna be good. But I will say right now, I do have an anniversary stream coming up. I don't want to do my anniversary stream before that happens. But I'm hoping that like I said, I want to make it a good one. I want to give you guys like some music and some dance and, some guests, because I want to do it for you guys. Some folks that have really, really helped out a whole lot and have opened my eyes to the YouTube stuff. Probably won't be talking about anything other than just hanging out with all you fine people and give you a little bit of music fun. If you haven't seen it, we've got all kinds of music on the channel. All kinds of music on the channel. Stuff like this. And then I'm going to end it after this one because it's going to be a long day tomorrow. Right here, like this. Oh, that's why. I was like, what happened? Why is it playing so fast? I was like, that just doesn't sound right. There we go. Here we go. Let's slow that bad boy down. There we go.
Bought a camper, thought it was home. 2 years old and rotten to the bone. Camper was a lemon from the very first day. Toilet flush was stuck, water ran away. Flooded the floor when we weren't at home. Underside rod, I couldn't call it my own. I pulled that toilet, watched a video too, but the repair guy laughed, said they're all crap, it's true. The camper left cause a black mold grew. Headaches and sinuses and made us move. It shocked our hands in a lightning storm. The bottom fell out, it wouldn't keep us warm. Point blank truth, no secret to lose. That's the story of my lemon camper blues. Hurricanes, blue rain found its slide. Black as mold like dirt piles inside. Scrubbed and scrubbed, but it came right back. Doctor said get out before your health cracks. Didn't want my little girl sick from the air, so I called the bank, said come get it, I don't care. The camper left cause the black mold grew. Headaches and sinuses and made us move. It shocked our hands in a lightning storm. The bottom fell out, it wouldn't keep us warm. Point blank truth, no secret to lose. That's the story of my lemon camper blues. Replaced the main brain, thought it was fine, but after one bad storm it shocked us blind. Electrical trouble, water on the floor. Said I've had enough, can't take no more. Called up the banker, told him the deal, come tow it away, I'm done for real. Now it's permits and framing, starting again. County says no bill without their pen. Try it without one, they'll tear it all down. That's the big bad truth echoing round. We're grateful for the Flea boot liquor too, but don't twist the story, I'm telling you true. The camper left cause the black mold grew. Headaches and sinuses, it made us move. It shocked our hands in a lightning storm. The bottom fell out, it wouldn't keep us warm. Point blank truth, no secret to lose. That's the story of my lemon camper blues. CPS was
I love this song. So much
not by
fun.
us. You'll have the answers in the next video.
I'm sending all you guys over to CMG. Make sure you show him a little bit of love.
Y'all remember.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. It'll be a blast over on Moe's in the morning for the Friday morning stream. Yes. Peace.
Oh, you thought I was done, bless your heart, but I'm still living rent-free, it's a work of art. Call me daddy, call me nut, call me the goat. You're paddling upstream while I'm running this boat. You say, I don't care, yet you're glued to the screen. Caught up in my glow while you stay unseen. Your shade's like a breeze, it's barely a draft. Meanwhile, I'm the Picasso of roasting your ass. You say you're over me, oh how cute, but here I am, still the star of your loop. You're my biggest fans, don't even deny. So grab some popcorn when daddy goes live. Call me daddy, yeah, shout it loud. King of your thoughts, I'm making you proud. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, headline act. Your background noise, and that's just a fact. Let's face the score. You hate that you love me, but you keep wanting more. You're like a dog chasing cars, you don't know why. But here you are, barking while I touch the sky. Your comments are gold, such comedy gold. Who hurt you? Oh wait, it's me, I'm told. You're keeping tabs like an unpaid intern while I'm cashing checks. When will you learn? Your timeline's a shrine to every move I make. I'd say thanks, but you're a nasty skank. Oh, Shizzy's washed up. Yeah, sure, Jan, yet here I am, the centerpiece of your plan. You hate watch my stream like it's Oscar night, but guess what, kiddos? I'm still shining bright. Call me daddy. Send in your bread. I'm still rent-free in your effing head. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy on your brain. I'm your mental landlord, you can't complain. Let's keep it real. You hate that I'm winning, but you love how it feels. Oh, I'm sorry, did I break your streak? You tried to ignore me for like half a week, but daddy's too spicy, you can't look away. I'm the train wreck you need every single day. So while you're out there with your plastic clout, I'm here sipping coffee watching you freak out. You're irrelevant, wow, what a take. Now go rewatch my vids while I count how much I make. I count how much I make. Call me daddy. Yeah, own it now. I'm reading your brain and you don't know how. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, let's at the bar. I'm the constellation, you're a burned out star. Embrace your role, cause I'm the main character. You're just an old ragged ass, burned out troll. So that's your bedtime story, kids tucked in sweet and snug. Shizzy Daddy's forever, you lose and you're stuck in the mud. Now say goodnight to Papa Nut, your mental pain. Oh wait, you will see me tomorrow's agenda will see me tomorrow. Same obsession, same effing thing.
Go show some love to